When the German officer pointed his gun at his subordinate, a sudden whistle drew everyone's attention. The man rolled on the grass and then ran toward the soldiers. The officer stepped forward and immediately reprimanded him. The man let out a sound of vomiting, but unexpectedly he slowly pulled a medal out of his mouth. The officer, in disbelief, took the medal. Suddenly, his subordinate noticed that his pocket watch had been stolen. The man then produced the pocket watch from behind his back. The soldiers tried to snatch it back, but the cunning man jumped into a water well. He reached out a hand and the soldiers quickly pulled him out. The officer angrily threatened to beat him, but somehow the pocket watch ended up back on him. The man made everyone burst into laughter by performing acrobatics. Even the officer was deeply captivated by him. Then the man walked toward the officer while doing a handstand. The officer happily took a bite of an apple. To everyone's surprise, the man pulled out a grenade and mimicked his actions. The soldiers instantly became extremely alert, but the man continued his impressive performance, tossing grenades repeatedly. Suddenly, he threw them onto the ground and took shelter in a wooden hut. A few seconds later, the man emerged wearing a wooden barrel on his head. The soldiers laughed heartily as they surrounded the barrel, but strangely, the man was no longer inside it. Everyone panicked instantly and searched everywhere for him. Suddenly, he let out a series of cat meows, performing like a cat licking its fur on a rooftop. His performance even earned applause from the officer. Then the man pulled out a ladder. The soldiers watched as he climbed up and performed dangerous stunts on it. The officer wondered what other skills he might have. The man made a gesture and then fell from the roof, landing heavily on the grass. The soldiers slowly approached him, and at that point, the man was motionless. The officer thought he was dead, but then he noticed that the two girls had been rescued. He immediately ordered everyone to draw their guns, but just a few seconds later, the entire group of German soldiers was knocked to the ground by a volley of gunfire, except for the last soldier. Then the man slowly got up from the ground. He saw that soldier and made a cool gesture at him, and finally that soldier fell down. It was all part of the man's plan. Earlier, it had been discovered that the German forces were about to execute two girls, so he disguised himself as a villager and successfully rescued them.